matchup still to come. Crazy Greyhound. I mean, these guys have really been raring to go, and obviously plenty of, as James said, history between these two teams. Right, we've got the coach of Greyhound, Neil M, our resident Irish boy.
So that's what I was going to say. How weird is it that like the one man linking these two teams, these two squads together from opposite sides of the globe, one being, you know, Australia, one being from
Europe.
Europe all over, right? It's like
some random Irish dude.
just some random Irish guys. The one link that they've all got. Neil M, obviously, he was a coach for some of these guys that we see in the Crazy roster back when they were under that Valiant co-name and also Imperial. So that was when, you know, he got to get close to. So that's what I was going to say. How weird is it that like the one man linking these two teams, these two squads together from opposite sides of the globe? One saw him in Australia. Loud as ever from Europe. You know how much getting something like this. It's like not just some random Irish guys. The one link that they've all got, Neil M, obviously, and I feel like Neil M, without even meaning to be, is like a great metaphor for that, because he was with the Crazy guys, and you could have imagined, you know, if he made a major with them, how ecstatic they would have been. And it's the same with Greyhound. He himself is just a hype man, and he surrounds himself with hype individuals as well. And that's kind of what we see over in this Greyhound squad. They've been having some decent runs as of late. Obviously, since Neil came in, I think they've been looking good. Obviously, we've had the addition of Sicko as well. That was to replace, I believe Sterling was the man who went there. He was the AWP for Greyhound. So, you know, I haven't seen all too much from them since they bought Sicko in, outside of what we saw at the Minors. But I was a big fan of Greyhound, and I feel like a lot of people are, right? Like, you look at the names, you got Dick Stacey in this team.
Can't not love that man.
You can't love that man.
You can't love that man.
Sorry,
excuse me, Harry.
And then like Malta as well, really nice guy. They're just like a bunch of friendly dudes who also play some great Counter-Strike, which is a great a great trait to have, I guess.
I think the second best matchup here is, you know, to the Counter-Strike between these two teams is the battle of the jerseys. Both these teams have killer jerseys. You know, you got the like Hawaiian party beach style Greyhound shirt, and then you got the spray paint, you know, dotted white crazy jerseys, which I think are sick. I really like the crazy jerseys. So you know, that's also a cool matchup. Don't forget the clothes there.
But I feel like the most important one is the one in the server where we get to see these two teams go head-to-head with one another. And, I mean, I feel like, you know, there's a few interesting things that we can look at. Namely, I feel like I want to ask you first, Hugo, who would be your players to keep an eye on either side of this one?
For Crazy, I'm going to say Nexa, man. Nexa is such a talent in terms of being an in-game leader and also being able to put up numbers on the server. He's like a great, like comparing to Carrigan in that sense, right? Look in this new Mousesports roster. He has always been a pillar of this team, a rock, right? You have players like, you know, for example, Esperanto, who have had, you know, high heights, but also have had low lows, you know, like bottom rated players, a bottom rated player at one event, top rated player at the next event. Like you don't know. Whereas Nexa, I feel like he's always putting up that consistent force, as well as Hunter, as well. You know, he's definitely like a name that many will know. Obviously, you know, also a young player and inexperienced in comparison to some of the top teams right now, but individually very, very talented. And one of the reasons that these guys love to pop heads, as Dexter said in that interview, right? Most importantly, I think Nex's hairdo is fantastic. I love the color change. That's me wrapped up there.
Yeah, that's you wrapped up.
Yeah.
So you go for Greyhound, who are we keeping an eye on?
Oh yeah, Greyhound.
Yeah.
I assume you would take that one.
It's all good. I'll let you have your time to
How
shine.
kind of you. Yeah, let's go with Urkos and Sicko. Urkos mainly last run with the boys, last chance to impress us. And
not to mention the fact that even if you think back to a lot of the events that we've seen Greyhound at, he has normally been the man towards the top of the scoreboard, putting up those big numbers when it matters most. I really do hope that because this is his last event, he can go out with a bang, right? And we can see an Urkos in big form. At the same time, that would make it really bittersweet, because it's like, he's still so good.
I think, like, I want to say that surely there's just a way, like they just all pack it up and
but
move.
It's like,
but like, it's easier said than done, isn't
that's
it?
what I always think. But you know, it's very easy to forget that visas are a very, very real problem. I know.
The worst thing in esports, man. What can you do though? Either way, oh my god, that's a very tall monitor for Letney there. He's gone to new heights, Harry. He is tall, but damn. See, I prefer my monitor below my eye line. You know, I like to look down on my monitor, not necessarily like vertically down, but just like a, see, I'm indicating with my hand. No one else can see.
Yeah,
this.
So it's almost like you're like reading a book height.
Yeah, that's perfect. Then.
Yeah,
very good comparison.
That's an odd. I don't know.
I think everyone else has it like exactly like how it is there. Like.
So you think Malta is being a good model for
the
ideal monitor placement?
Yeah, prime example.
I prefer to line the top of the monitor up with my eye height, like direct eye level, and then right in my face.
Yeah.
Like touching, like Zentaris of face touching.
I think he has eye problems because of how he uses his monitor, and I'm not going to say I'm surprised because I'm not surprised. So, yeah, can't win them all, but still
can't win them all.
Yeah, you know, he's great at CS, but he's also going to be blind by 30.
Yeah,
so.
He's going to have to start using like sonar or something, like echo, like what bats do.
I think that's called cheats, mate.
Yeah, but Hugo, I tell you what, I'm hoping that we're getting underway shortly. I have to ask though, which team do you see taking this one? Because
I'm going to say crazy, right? Like
I'm going to say Greyhound. So I like that you're saying crazy.
Okay.
We got a bit of a disagreement.
You want to give me your reason, or do you want me to just slide past that?
My reason is just so here's the thing. I still think Crazy should go on to the next stage.
Yeah. Do you think Greyhound should?
I put them in my pick'ems.
Do you think they will?
I put them in my pick'ems, right?
That's a
like,
no.
No, I think they definitely could, but I do just think a lot of it, especially with how this 0-1 group has ended up now, and like the 1-0, I really do think it's going to come down to these matchups on the second day for a lot of these teams, as like awful as that sounds, right? It's like with Vitality and with NRG both being in that 0-1 group, and now with
makes all the difference.
I don't want to say like weaker links, because at the end of the day, like they still beat the best teams at this event, right? But it's like the teams that on paper we expect less from are over in that 1-0 group. There's a couple like Dream Eaters and Simon.
Yeah.
I just think that these now present some really interesting situations for the matchups later on and tomorrow.
No, I totally get what you mean when it's really hard to like talk down on the teams that won their game, even though they won their game. Because at the end of the day, if I said to any team, would you rather face Vitality or Simon? No one is picking Vitality. They may be 0-1. No one is picking Vitality. Everyone is picking Simon because they are the weaker team. Just because they won a game doesn't mean you have to take that away from them. But again, that is a best of one. That's always the thing you have to remember. And moving past day one, or moving past these early games, we're going to have best of threes. So that's where things really start to get interesting.
And I think as well, like it's really going to come down to whether or not these teams can keep it up. If we keep considering them as possibilities, right? Because it's like if you win on day one, but then you just start to get stomped by day two, it's like, okay, well maybe you just got off to a good start and everyone else was a little bit slow, or maybe you just had a great day of Counter-Strike. Like it is all about the consistency. And at the end of the day, that's why when we look at like Vitality and NRG, we know what these guys are capable of because we've seen them do it countless times, right? Whereas with Simon, with Dream Eaters, we haven't seen as much tenure from these guys at big LAN events in the important stages. We haven't seen them do this before.
Yeah.
So,
and it's not easy.
No, it's definitely not, right? No matter how much preparation you put in, no matter how much practice you've had, on the day, all it can take is one or two small mistakes, and suddenly all of that is for nothing.
Cheeky dig there. Either way, should be getting into things sooner rather than later, as Letty is just so much taller than everyone else. It's not fair on it, not fair on his team. But yeah, either way, I'm going to lean the way of Crazy here. I think these guys have surely done a lot of prep coming into this event. Of course, as Nexa mentioned in that interview, right, like winning versus Fnatic coming through in that way, which in and of itself essentially disbanded that roster, if you think about it, because Fnatic are now making changes, supposedly. I don't know if anything's even official, or if I've just read leaks, I don't know. But
yeah, I think that Freiburg report fell through as fake.
Yes.
Not faked, but just wrong. Like, unintentionally.
Just as, like, he was talking,
multiple sources said that it was, but then Fnatic were like, no.
Either way.
But it's like, how do you ever really know? That job is so hard, man. Like, the people who go around digging for, like, all the info, I don't know how you do that reliably.
So many deals fall through anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure Crazy have done a lot of prep coming into this event, right? Like, they've got a good structure behind them. They've got good management individually, very talented players. Nexa's very smart and has been leading this team, or a formation of this team for years now, a couple of years. So yeah, I think they're going to be very comfortable in this situation, in their element, like Neil M is, leaning all the way back in his chair, just relaxing, just chilling, just casual, Harry. Working hard or hardly working, you never know.
Especially with Neil. It's one or the other, but...
sometimes both.
Yeah. A man of many talents, and multitasking is one of them. Yeah, he's getting the team pumped up. I like that we could like really unenthusiastically hear the clap very, very quietly. It looks like we're just trying to get, I believe that was Hunter set up down at the end there.
I can't see, I just see hair. I just see faces.
I'm trying. No, not right on the end. Second in.
Okay,
so I'm trying to do it just by like I was doing it by process of elimination. I'm like, obviously Otto's there.
Just two brunettes. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, that was the problem.
Although it does make sense that Esperanto's on the end, as far away from everyone else. You know, he likes to play his own game and hit his shots and not communicate. That's obviously a joke. But you know, it's always like the most detached from the in-game leader sit further away, right? Like,
okay.
No, that's how it works. That's what, like. Just in a lot of teams, right? If you're playing a bomb site with someone, it's good to sit next to them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right? You get that fist bump.
And not only do you get the fist bump, you can also look at their screen to see if they're white from flashbangs and stuff like that. You can.
That's true.
There's little tricky tricks.
Well, Harry, you're a LAN player.
Yeah, you know me, mate. I'm from a LAN generation.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
Time's gone by.
Talking of time's gone by, headsets are off.
Yeah.
There's some time to go by.
So we've actually already briefed you guys on what the universal side of headsets off mean.
Oh, now we've got monitors off. What does that mean, Harry?
And that seat's just got a pillow in it.
Yeah, so the it's so
tall because he sits on a pillow.
That's cheating, actually. It's a booster seat, mate. You can't have that. That's why he's raised his monitor. Surely if you just remove the pillow, you can lower the monitor and all is well.
Yeah, but he might just want a comfy bum. Did that ever occur to you? That said, there's no comfier bum that you can ever get than if you're sitting in a secret lab seat, Hugo. These seats, prime comfort. I just got told, by the way, that we have a video lined up. I didn't hear what the video was.
Public transportation.
Public transportation. Wow.
I'm glad you got the first half of that and I got the second half of that.
So let's go ahead and ride this little bus down to Video Town.
Berlin is famous for its convenient public transport. It's so easy to get around the entire city. And one thing you guys should do is plan some routes to have a good look around Berlin while you're here, so you can enjoy the games and see everything that Berlin has to offer.
Oh, yeah.
The Berlin subway stations has a pretty unique design to it. It's very efficient. You have zones A, B, and C. A being the city centre, B being the outskirts, and then C going off towards these suburbs. We can see a lot of Berlin by doing this. The Berlin subway lines subway system consists of 25 lines, and it can take you anywhere in the entire city. There's 3 lines here, and 2 of them are pretty interesting. The first one is the U-Bahn, which is our underground one, and that has 15 lines. Then we have the S-Bahn, which is one that just rolls across the surface, and that has 10 lines. So if you go to the Ringbahn as well, you have an S-Bahn that goes all the way around the ring if you want to choose that route to go as well. So here is everything we have to get your tickets and get yourself on the road. Now you should make sure you buy a ticket. They're a lot cheaper than the ones you have to buy in the UK, so there's no excuse not to buy your tickets. Now some of the ticket names, and I'm going to do my best here, but this is going to be hard. These are very German names. This is a ticket for short distances, and this is the Kurvensteckenstraßstein. Einfrauhaarstein. A small life hack for you guys coming here to Berlin. You can download the BVGH Far Info Berlin, and what that is an app that you can use to plan your route, know exactly where you got to go, buy your tickets and have it all on your mobile phone. That's something I love to do, and it's certainly something I recommend if you're coming here to Berlin. Now we need to get on this train, so let's make sure we hop in. Another one of the things I absolutely love about Berlin is how easy it is to get around. And this right here is my favorite type of transport. You get your phone, you scan the QR code, you get going, and you can start riding around on the scooter and get wherever you want. And this is what I spend most of my time doing. You can get to the Mercedes Arena and the Music Hall by multiple forms of different public transport. Buses, trains, trams, scooters, you know I love them. Sometimes you can get to anywhere you want here in Berlin with just using multiple forms of public transport. But very interestingly enough, and it's not one I'm going to be taking, you can also take some ferries. There are ferries that stop very close to the arena and the Music Hall, so you can hop off them, enjoy a leisurely boat ride before you get to the arena. And if you do take one, let me know, because me personally, I won't be taking them. I'll see you guys there.
Yeah, that was James Banks on public transport.
Is there a topic he won't do?
Yeah, I know, right? What's next? It's going to be like, this is James on cannibalism. And then it just cuts back to him, like, chowing down on, I don't know, Legia or something. I think they're friends, right? Like, having a big old munch.
James's Berlin sausage tour.
Yeah.
You know? He goes to the Berghain, most importantly. That's the first stop.
I have heard that is the #1 place to go if you want a bit of sausage, actually, Hugo. But the major Crazy versus Greyhound is about to be underway. A promise that I've made twice now, and I feel like I didn't do good on the promise the first time around.
No. Is that what? Is that the second time or is that the third
I didn't say whether I would or wouldn't on the second time.
Okay, right.
But I feel like,
you know, it's a 50-50. Either it starts or it doesn't. Right now, it's
well,
apple.
they're eating apples, so it's
season,
comparing apples and oranges at this point in time, man. They're running through the strats. They've got them printed out. Looks like a Word document there. Now, we can't talk about Word at CS events, all thanks to someone who just forsook his whole career.
Nice.
But
Hunter is peeling off his mask right now. Look at that. He's just had enough of this good old, you know, piece of skin.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you got to de-skin.
Mask off. Mask. Okay, we got the vetoes.
The band's coming in. Okay, this is it. This is the important bit, Hugo. We can see Overpassed Inferno take it out immediately. Mirage following. I'm curious where this one's ending up. Vertigo's still... it's gone.
Yeah, that's a sad story.
I mean, I was fully expecting to not get Vertigo on day one.
It
could be Nuke, and
what?
It's Nuke.
Okay, it's not what I expected.
An interesting place to take this one. It's a pretty decent map for both of these teams, so it makes sense, right? But this is one that Crazy have been looking pretty good on as of late.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I don't think I've ever watched Crazy play Nuke, but they have an 88 win percentage on it, or 75 win percentage on it. That's pretty unbelievable. I was not aware of that. So obviously only out of 4 games. I'm looking at other stats here that say 88% out of 8 maps. So yeah, either way, they're pretty comfortable with this one. And Greyhound, obviously, a similar story. 80% pistol win rate on Nuke. Now, that is not what you see every day. We say 60% is high, Harry. 80%. Greyhound can lock in 2 pistols on, you know, this map, then the game is going to be very much in their favor. Potential of up to 6 rounds for quote-unquote free.
Of course, I don't know if you remember, but this is when that was when Greyhound actually 16-0'd Avon at the Asia Minor.
Yeah.
If you remember that. It was on Nuke. So I'm excited for this. We also saw there they were able to take G2 to 29 rounds on this map. Obviously, G2 recently looking pretty damn good, I think it's fair to say, right? They've kind of gone from being a team that was off of a lot of people's radars, and now, like, you're straight back on there, right? So, promising that they are able to take them that far.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the team's just briefing you. Hunter briefing Otto right now on like how they want to approach this. Clearly,
I kind of like
vocal.
This.
Yeah, this is awesome.
It's not like he's grouped them all up together and he's doing like a conversation about the group. He's telling every individual by the looks of things, like one at a time, talking them through what he kind of wants them to do, setting things up, you know, reading off of his little sheet. And now I imagine they're going to do more of a group focus bit at the end because you saw everyone standing up and coming over. But I like that, man. Like a nice time. There's just some one-on-one, like telling each and every person what they might be walking into in this situation. I like the amount of preparation that we're seeing from the Crazy guys. That is something that they've never been shy about on either side of these two teams, is how much work these guys put in behind the scenes. I feel like some of that does come down to Neil M as well, back when he was on the Crazy roster, because he's someone who does like to kind of like show that working hard yields results, right? Like, he's always very vocal about how much effort him and his teams have been putting in, or how much they've been practicing and what they've been doing. And he does kind of bring that culture with him to whatever team he goes into, right?
Right now, Greyhound, I mean, they're just sweating the DM, and I don't blame them, right? One of the things Carl said coming into this game was we just need to make sure individually we're on the same level, right? Like, we need to win our duels, because if you can't win your duels versus a team that not solely relies on duels, but definitely, you know, abuses their individual skill, then you're going to have a tough time. So while Crazy spend a rare moment, you know, going over the strategy instead of warming up, we have Greyhound warming up instead. It's kind of a nice switch up. And Neil M, you know, he wants to win this game more than anyone right now, wanting to take down his old teammates.
Let's get it on.
I mean, essentially it's like his old project versus the new project.
I get to have a Tinker as well. Like, I'm very happy about that one. I actually really enjoy Tinker. I love this like global maneuver and just